Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the social sessions. I just remembered last minute to put my phone on silent. I think that might be the first time I've ever done that. And literally, there we go. I got a notification. I always get a notification as soon as I go live. Apologies, by the way. It looks like I'm a bit grainy this evening. I'm not sure if my connection's a bit off for some reason. Let's have a look. How am I looking? Yeah, I'm looking a bit grainy, aren't I? Anyway, hopefully it'll improve as we go. So tonight's session is all about planning, social media planning. So important. And I have found a way of doing it that is super simple, really scalable. So it works for your own planning, but it also works if you are working with clients and you're planning out their social media too. And even better, it is free. I've got a glass of wine to keep me company tonight because I wanted one. So there we go. The perks of being self-employed. You can drink wine and work at the same time. So, right, so let's dive in. First of all, I should introduce myself. For anyone who is new around these parts, my name is Colette Broomhead and I'm a social media strategist. And I work with business hands-on, helping them with their social media, planning out their social media, creating their social media and so on and so forth. But I also have a separate page to this and a separate group for social media managers based in the UK. So if that's you, then do make sure you come and join us. We're over at UK Social Media Managers. That's the name of the page and the group. So super easy to find. But if you can't, let me know and I'll happily provide a link. I've also promised in this session access to my the template that I use, which I'm actually going to be showing you in this session. So if you're kind of looking at it thinking, oh yeah, that'd be really handy, let me know and I will happily give you access to the template as well. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's start off by talking about why planning is important. We all know it's important, but I think it's helpful just to kind of remind ourselves as to why, because it's easy sometimes, especially when we're rushed, to kind of think we can just skip the planning phase and we'll just kind of what's the word? Oh, my mind's gone blank. Wing it. Just wing it, which is not necessarily the right solution. Hey to those of you watching live, by the way, give me a hey, say hello. It's always nice to see people here live to know that I'm not talking to myself. Wendy, hi, nice to see you. And also, if you are watching the replay, then let me know. Give me a replay in the comments as well, because it's nice to know who's watching, whether it is live or in the replay. So why is planning so important? So I've got 3 reasons. I have my notes on here, so in case if you see me glancing down here, that's why. So first of all, time. It's that weird thing. We skip planning when we're short on time, and yet planning saves us so much time. If you can be organised enough to plan ahead, you will get your kind of posts created and scheduled so much faster than if you're winging it, because, well, for so many reasons, really. You kind of get into the rhythm of things, you kind of get into the swing of it, you have a set process, you're able to do it kind of calmly and not kind of rushing, thinking, I've got to get my posts out, I'll just, so yeah, you actually save time, and we all know this, but like I said, it's sometimes helpful to have that reminder that yes, planning is useful. Another reason that planning is so useful is consistency, because actually when we don't plan, what happens is you end up missing posts, so say for example, hey Sean, nice to see you, have to catch up, kids bedtime now. I know it's difficult, it's so difficult to find the right time that everyone can make, because yeah, actually my hubby's putting our little one to bed as we speak as well. So yeah, no, come and catch the replay, and if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, so consistency. When you leave the planning and you kind of skip the planning, you end up missing posts. So say you want to post twice a day, what happens is, you know, you get busy, you haven't planned it, you perhaps haven't scheduled it, and so you miss a post, and then you miss another one, and before you know it, you haven't posted for days or weeks or months, and your online presence just dies. And of course, you know, even more serious, if you are a social media manager and you're doing this for clients and you're actually being paid to do it, not great if you are then missing posts for them as well. Doesn't look good for you or your business. So planning is key for consistency as well. And finally, it's key for quality, because we've all been there. When you do end up winging it, if you do manage to post, chances are the quality of what you're posting isn't that great, because you're basically just thinking, what can I post? What can I post? And that's where the kind of just fluff comes out, anything, you know, to get it posted. And so you end up sharing some random link or some random quote that isn't, you know, there's no purpose to it. There's no quality in it. There's no value in it. And essentially, again, you're kind of wasting your own time and your customers' time. So not planning is not a good idea. Planning is key. But how do you do it? There are so many schedulers out there. There's so many different options out there. And I can tell you, I have tried many in my time, and, you know, and loved many as well. I'm not saying that the other options out there aren't great. Some of them are. But this is the first time I found something that just seems to tick all the boxes for me. So let me dive in and show you what it is. So the name of the tool that I use is Airtable. Let me know if you've heard of it. I actually hadn't heard of it until you know, a month or two ago when I started using it. I'd never come across it, but it's called Airtable. It actually isn't a scheduling tool. It's basically just a almost like a glorified kind of Excel or Google Sheets. It's that kind of thing, but it's just got a few more bells and whistles. And I am going to share my screen with you in a minute and actually show it to you, so you can kind of see how I do it, and, you know, I'll show you the whole process. But one of the, in case you're kind of thinking, well, hold on a minute, if it's not a scheduling tool, that means I can't schedule from it. No, you can't. But for me, that's actually a conscious decision that I've taken. And the reason for that is that I have found, and interestingly, I asked online a while ago, and it seemed to be a pretty much resounding result from everyone, that when you post natively on the channel that you're posting on, using their kind of native scheduler or whatever, you get better engagement. It makes sense. Let's face it. Platforms want you to use their own tools. They want you to use their own services. They don't want you going third party. They want you to use them. So it makes sense that when you use their tools, they're going to give you better reach and better engagement. And that seems to be what happens. So I'm kind of talking from my own experience and also from what I've heard other people say as well. So this isn't kind of a hard and fast fact, but it does seem to be the case. So I have made a decision that both for my posts and my clients' posts, I am pretty much only ever going to use the native scheduling tools for those channels. Now you may be sitting here thinking, hold on a minute, Colette, you are using BeeLive right now, which is a third-party tool. And yes, you're absolutely right. And this is the one exception, because with BeeLive, with Facebook Lives, it allows me to do things like, you know, go live and then share my screen. Whereas with Facebook, the native tool, you have to kind of pick from the start which one you want to do. So BeeLive does give me a few more kind of extra tools that I really like to use for Facebook Lives. So for the time being, at least, I'm continuing to use BeeLive for most of my Facebook Lives. Where I need to do those extra things, where I'm just going live more and more, I'm going to start just using Facebook, because again, I do think you get better reach that way. So that's why I'm not using a kind of traditional scheduling tool. I'm using something different. So with that, let me take you into my screen so I can show you around the tool. So hopefully you can now see my screen, and I am now just a little dot in the corner. So I'm going to take you into Airtable. So this is Airtable. This is kind of, I guess, like the sort of main home page. And what you have here, I'm not going to give you a complete tour of Airtable, because honestly, I only know the bit that I use, and I think there's actually a lot more to it that I haven't even explored yet. But you can see there's various tutorials and stuff, so if you want to explore all that, do. There are paid versions, but I stress that I am on the free version. I am not paying for this tool at all at the moment. You can also see that there are set templates that you can use. So if I can just pop you into one of them, let's have a look at the CRM one. So this isn't something that I've created. This is simply a template that's available for, so you can search the different templates and kind of, use one of your templates from there. So this is all kind of fake info, by the way, because this is not something that I've created. This is something that's on the Airtable. In case you think, wow, she's sharing all this info. That's not my info. Okay, so there's various templates that you can kind of go and search through. Or what I've done is actually, and you can see, look here, look, there's you can click on templates, and look, there's tons of stuff. You can literally probably spend hours. There's even a social media calendar here, but I have to say I have just started from scratch, and I've just built my own template, which is what I'm happy to share with anyone who thinks it would be useful for them. So let me take you into, so I've got here, basically I've created a template, a base, these are all bases, for each of my own kind of separate kind of business areas, and also for each of my clients. So let me take you into, for example, this is my food blog, Eat Drink Cook. And you can see then what I do is I have separated out by month. And if we go into March, because actually I haven't done a massive amount on my food blog recently, so it perhaps wasn't the best example, but we'll see how we get along. So let me take you through each of these columns. Now, if you need, if you have any questions along the way, or you want me to kind of clarify anything, do let me know. I'll come back and kind of check in the comments every now and then. Unfortunately, because I'm showing you my screen, I can't see the comments as they're coming in. It doesn't look like we've had any, but as I say, I'll check them, and if there are any questions, I will make sure that I answer them. Equally, if you're watching this in the replay, don't feel like you missed out on the chance to ask questions. So let me take you through this. So these columns all have a very set purpose. So in this first column, basically, this is where I put the kind of main headline of the post that I'm planning. So I will go in here and I'll kind of say, okay, well, you can see the example here. Let's have a look at this example. Let's have a look at this one. So U2 is going to be the kind of just the main heading. Now, sometimes the main heading and the description are exactly the same, where I'm just writing a short post. But where I'm writing a longer post, there might be a heading and then a main bulk of the post. So these might differ, but I'll get to this point in a minute. Then I have, so here, these columns, you can actually customize as to what you want them to do. So for this column, I basically want to be able to just write, some short text. So you'll see here, if I go into customize field type, I've just chosen here single line text, but you can see if I click on here, there are tons and tons of different options. So you can kind of create what you want this kind of spreadsheet to do, and you can kind of pick different types of column that you want, and you'll see as we go along that I've picked a few different types, but there's tons of other options that I haven't used myself that you can explore. Okay, so here I've chosen single line text. Okay, and you can see I'm just using that to put my kind of main headline of my post. Okay, the next thing is then what type of post it is, and that's here. So here you can see that I have chosen multiple select, and then I've created a series of options. Now, these are all the different types of post that I envisage. Actually, I can get rid of that one. That I envisage or know that I'm likely to use on my Facebook page, or in my Facebook group, or whatever channel it may be. And the beauty of this is you can use it for any channel. I'm mainly using it for Facebook because that's mainly the channels that I'm using at the moment for both myself and my clients. Although interestingly, this week I now have clients for both LinkedIn and Twitter, so I will be adding those in, but they will still work in this template. I can still use it, and I'll show you how in a minute. So you can create all your own options. You can just add options as you go. It's fab. And the reason that I keep a track on this is because it's really helpful. There we go. Oh, come on. You sure you want to convert this field type? No, I don't. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Ooh, I hope I haven't done something funny there. Anyway, right. Messing up my own template. So you can see, so for example, for my food blog, I might want to share a recipe, in which case I would say it's a recipe and obviously there's going to be a link. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I'm posting conversation starters because these help to boost engagement and get people talking and interacting on my page, which is what feeds the algorithm. And so that's always good stuff as well. Memes are great. And you can see there's various options here. Sometimes I'll post a poll, videos, there's options for Facebook Lives. So basically, I've tried to cover all the kind of key categories of post that I'm likely to use. And as I, come across more, I add those in. And the reason that I track that is because it's just really nice and visual for me to go through and see. It gives me ideas when I'm kind of thinking, what can I post? I can look through these post types and think, oh, I haven't done one of those for a while. And so it gives me ideas as to what I can post next in the future. But it's really good for tracking for performance. So what I also do, and I haven't come to this yet, but I actually go through these posts and I kind of cross match them. So I'll look back and I'll cross match with my Facebook insights and see which ones actually performed well. And then I can start to see, oh, look, well, conversation starters always seem to perform really well, or those recipe links are doing really well. And then that helps me to start to see patterns and see trends as to what types of posts my audience is resonating with and that I should be doing more of. Okay, so that's why I try to keep a track of those, because also it helps you kind of not be too repetitive. Because if I kind of go, look, I know I always probably want to do the conversation starter at least every couple of days, if not every day. So that's fine to see lots of those. But if I start to see, oh, actually, I've done tons of recipes recently, but I haven't done a meme for ages, then again, it helps me to go, oh, right, well, I'll do a meme then. So it's just really, really super helpful, both for planning content and for looking back at past performance and sort of seeing what's working and what's not working. So that's the type of post column. Then we have the placement column. Now, for Eat, Drink, Cook, I only have a page. I don't have a group, and I'm only doing Facebook. And so this is all the Facebook page. But here, if you were doing, Twitter, or you had a Facebook group, let me show you actually. I don't have much variety, but you can see here. So for the UK Social Media Manager, I have a page and a group, and I use this to say, okay, well, I'm going to post this in the group, I'm going to post this in the page, and it just helps me plan out. So I'm not having to use a different base for every single channel. I do it. So, and if say, for example, I had a client, I'm not going to show you my client stuff, but I would do the same for a client. So if I had a client where I was managing their Facebook and their Twitter and their LinkedIn, then I would have that all on here, but I would just create different options. So again, I've done the same here where I've done multiple select and I've just created different options that I can then choose from. Okay, let me just check to make sure this is all making sense and that there's no questions. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, all making sense. I hope so, guys. Okay, so let's move on. So we've got the kind of main headline, the type of post, the place where I'm going to actually be posting it. And then here we have the description. So you can see here, you can actually open this up. You can expand it. And you can basically put your full post in there. And so I write out my full post in there. If it's going to be all, whether it's all text or whether I'm sharing links or whatever it may be, the whole lot goes in here. And for my field type, I've got long text, which makes sense. So that all goes in there. And so when it comes to scheduling it, I literally can just copy and paste. Now, when I'm copying, so for example, this one, you can see that I'm sharing a recipe. So there's a link here. So when you copy and paste that into Facebook, you can wait for the the post to kind of populate, and then you can actually delete that link to make it look a bit tidier. If that doesn't make any sense, if you're not sure what I mean by that, let me know and I'll show you. Okay, next we have attachments. So if I want to upload an image or a video, I will actually upload these here. Now, this is great for various reasons. Oh, my stomach's rumbling, sorry. One, again, just for the sake of, you know, being able to review, having everything in one place, being able to look back at things nice and easily. It's a lot easier to look back through here on what I've posted than it is to kind of scroll through the page itself. But from a client perspective, if you are working with clients, then this is brilliant, because if they want to kind of check the content or even sign off the content, you've got it all here in one place, and you can literally say, okay, this is next week's, you know, content plan, and that you can add a, you know, a sign off thing where they can just go, yes, happy to sign this off, or comments, no, I need these changes, or whatever. So you can kind of share these bases. You can give people various different access, you know, view only or edit or whatever. So if you want people to be able to sign stuff off, you can literally just share this with them and they can sign it off. Super easy, super simple, which I love. But you can see, so if I want to upload something, you can see I've uploaded this here. So I enjoy long romantic walks to the fridge. This was something I posted a month or so ago. And it's just, you literally just go in to add an attachment, and then you can upload it from wherever it is that you've got it. And that, yeah, that's the same down wherever. And you can do the same with videos as well. So super simple. Then obviously this is the date that I want to post it, that I want, you know, I'm going to schedule it for. This is the time I'm going to schedule it for. Just a quick note on times, actually, a little extra top tip for you. If you, the way I choose my times is actually by going into my insights. So if I go into my insights here for my social strategist page, if you click on posts, now this here tells you when your page audience are most active on Facebook. And so you can then plan out the kind of strategically best times to post. And it's always worth testing. So you can kind of go, right, well, this looks like, I tend to, for a smallish page, I tend to post probably once in the morning and once in the evening, for the most part. And so, you know, for the morning, probably it's looking like, you know, 7 a.m. is a good time. And yeah, in the evening, you're looking at about 6. Yeah, probably about 6 is about the best time in the evening. So you can do that. Now, for super small pages, I don't think you get access to this information until you have about, I think it's about 100 page likes. So you may not have this straight away, but as soon as you do, it's super helpful. In the meantime, just test and just see what works. So there we go, another little top tip for you there. So let me just check, have we got any comments, any questions? I think we're all good. Yeah, cool, okay. Right, so we've got the date, the time. Now, the next thing is something that I go through, and basically, again, after a week's, my kind of planned out scheduled posts have actually been posted, I go back and I check my Facebook insights, and I look to see what has performed well, what got good engagement, what got a lot of reactions, and so on and so forth, what reached a lot of people. And you can see all that in your insights. Let me quickly show you again, in case you're not sure where to look. So if you go down, click on your insights and go down to your recent posts, and you can literally see here, so this is your reach and this is your engagement. And literally, I mean, you don't have to, you know, spend ages on this. Just look at where, you know, what seems to have done the best, and you'll start to get an idea as to number for your page, what, you know, what's good and what's not so good. If you want to, you can change the engagement to engagement rates by, she says, there we go, by clicking on here and then changing that to engagement rates. And so there, that suddenly changes there to engagement rates. So that gives you a quick view as to what's done well. So look at this. This is done really well here. Believe in yourself and anything's possible. That's got, you know, massive reach, and people clearly resonated with that. This one here seems to have done quite well. It's got some decent engagement. So you can start to get an idea of the types of posts that do well. And when something does really well and it's something that can be repeated. So, for example, this one probably isn't something that I would repeat because it was a post literally about something that was happening that day. It's a picture of my little boy who was working with me. So it's not something I'm likely to post again because it wouldn't really make sense to post, you know, about this again because it was just a one-off, you know, this is happening to me behind the scenes type thing. But it does tell me that behind the scenes, you know, these types of posts. So I might be likely to post another picture of my little boy again, you know, if he happens to be with me, or post something similar. But the other one, for example, this, I will definitely repost at some point because it's, you know, it's done really well. You know, posts like this can be repeated because at the end of the day, people's social media memory is quite short. A lot of people still won't have seen this. And yeah, this kind of stuff bears repeating. And so this is why I have this column here where I can go through anything that I think has performed well. It could be a conversation starter that got loads of engagement, and I'll say, yeah, actually, I'm going to reshare that. And then I'll probably leave it a month or two. And then I'll look, when I'm scheduling a post, I'll look back, you know, 2 months previous and see, oh, what did I say that I would reshare? And I'll sprinkle those in to my scheduling, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But that's a really good way, again, to come up with content ideas and to maximize posts that have performed well, because you may as well, you know, get the absolute most out of them if you can. So you can see here for Eat, Drink, Cook, a few posts that I've kind of marked for March. Red wine or white. Again, simple conversation starter, but it got tons of comments. It got, you know, it got lots of engagement. Name one item that can always be found. I think it was in the fridge, in your fridge. Go. Again, really great conversation starter. This one seemed to resonate with people. People love showing that kind of stuff. So these are the types of questions that I will happily ask again in a couple of months' time, and they will probably work really well again. Okay. And we're getting to the end now. So this last one, I actually don't use because I don't use hashtags on Facebook. But if you are using Instagram or Twitter, then you can plan out your hashtags here. And again, just copy and paste them. So you can put them all in here and then copy and paste them when you are scheduling your posts. And that's it. That is my planning. Like I say, it is really simple, but it absolutely works. And better still, it works for multiple clients. It works. It allows you to get sign off for clients. It allows you to go back and review stuff and see what's worked really, really easily, and, you know, get inspiration for future content. So I love this. If you are watching this and thinking, yeah, I'd really love to have a go at that, that looks great, and you would like a copy of this template that I use, then do let me know and I will be very happy to share it with you. So let me just check one last time to make sure that I haven't missed any questions, because I don't want to miss questions. Looks very useful. Thanks a lot, Claire. Oh, good. I'm so glad. That's good to hear. Okay, so next week I will be continuing this theme, and I will be going through how to come up with content ideas. So I've given you a kind of few tidbits tonight as part of the planning process, you know, just simple things that you can do to get some inspiration. But I'll be kind of going into that in loads more depth next week, same time, Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. And yeah, content inspiration, all things content inspiration next week. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm off to finish off my wine, and I shall see you next week. Take care.